We can't hear anything.
Oh, what a great audience we have today. Thanks so much for everybody that came to our building at 501 Nelson Street here in London, Ontario, Canada. And we welcome those watching us online, whether you're watching us right now or later on. We're happy that you're joining us. So at Unity of London, we share a vision statement, the same as almost all unities across the world, and that is a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. So unity is a movement. It's not a place, it's not a person, it's a movement, and it's a number of people that are pushing along and learning and transforming as they develop in their understanding of who they are and what their job is to do here as they're having a human experience. And with that shared spiritual awakening, our mission here at London, in order to see that become real, is that we believe we're co-creating with Spirit to transform lives through sharing our spiritual awakening. What does that look like? Well, we believe we are, and we always focus on being a loving and inclusive, supportive community. We promote self-expression. We want you to be you, not anybody else, just you. By living what we believe, the 5 principles. And if you're new to Unity, you can Google it, the 5 principles of unity, and that is our foundation. But number 1 is we believe there is only one power, one source in our life, and it is good. By inspiring to make a positive difference in the world, we set an example. We show others how you can share your joy, share your gifts, share your talents, share your treasures. And we're really here for each other, not just for ourselves. And we try to do our best by providing fellowship and education for spiritual seekers of all walks of life. Geez, you wouldn't think spiritual seekers would be such a challenge. And guess what's happening today? It's Celebration Sunday. Hey, so for those of you watching us right now here in the audience or online, think as we're having our service, what you can share, what you're celebrating this month, the month of November. It's not just all about birthdays and anniversaries, although those are good things to share. And during this time, we will, or not during this time, but at the end of service, you will have the opportunity to have one-on-one prayer. We have Dawn here at the church, and Dawn would pray one-on-one with those who are here that would like prayer in our prayer room. And Wilda is available online following the service, and Lorraine and or Larry will put you into breakout room, and you can have a private session with a prayer chaplain. And that's all I printed on the things. What's next? The next is, speaking of prayer, as we know, or again, for people that are new to Unity, Unity was founded upon affirmative prayer. So we're going to take a moment and set the space for our service today. So I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable. But most importantly, take your awareness from your head and all the busyness that's going on in there, and drop your awareness into your heart space. Feel your heart beating. Notice your breathing. And we do all these without even thinking about it most of the time. But that infinite intelligence, divine mind, is flowing through each and every one of us, beating our hearts, breathing through us. And so we connect together in prayer, knowing that there is only the one source, one power, and it is good. In our prayers today, we hold all of our Unity of London community and all those connected with them, friends, family, and foes. We hold the City of London in our prayer, Ontario, Canada, and the world. And in particular, in November, we hold Unity of Ottawa and Unity of York Region study group within our prayers, and all spiritual gatherings that are happening today. Take a moment for you to whisper into the silence the names of those that are on your heart that you would like to send your prayers to. And as we come together at this time, earlier this week, we remembered not only soldiers, but civilians that lost their lives fighting wars. And we hold today the thought of peace. Peace for all. For after Remembrance Day, we start into some celebrations, knowing that there's holiday time coming, and many spirits are lifted by that, but many are not. And so we send love to all those that are alone and lonely. And we let them know that they are not alone. None of us are ever alone. Wherever we are, Spirit is. And there is always somebody thinking about you somewhere. We know that as we share our peace and our love, it grows. And that means the rest diminishes. There's less room for the darkness when there's lots of light. But the darkness is important because it does show us the light. So as we go through this service, we appreciate each and every person that's part of it, whether it's dealing with sound, video, speaking, music, or you just watching and listening and being with us. We love you. We appreciate you. And so it is, and so we let it be. And now we're going to have Dawn come, I believe it's Dawn coming to read our daily word.
This morning's reading is entitled Prosperity. Prosperity fills my life. Current flowing through my house's wiring provides light, but first I must flip the switch on. Divine substance, the building block of creation, is the source from which my prosperity grows. But I must first claim it in consciousness to live a prosperous life. The divine idea of prosperity is unlimited, more than sufficient to meet my needs. I know true prosperity when I live from this truth. Giving freely and generously keeps prosperity at the forefront of my consciousness. I know the more I give, the more of myself I place in circulation, the more I will experience. As I give of myself, I increase the flow of prosperity in my life and in the world. And he said to them, pay attention to what you hear. The measure you give will be the measure you get, and still more will be given to you. Mark 4:24. Let me introduce our speaker today. Katherine has been a member of the New Thought movement since the early 80s. Oh, louder, they say. Katherine has been a member of the Unity New Thought movement ever since the early 80s. New Thought helped her to free her from the life-threatening addictions, guided her to change beliefs that were holding her prisoner in her old story, and fueled decades of studying metaphysical and mystical truths. In 2020, Katherine was awarded her master's degree in metaphysical science and is now completing her certification as a master facilitation coach. For the past 5 years, Katherine has facilitated a course of love, the Mastery Series, and has been an active participant in spirit groups for Unity of London. Her deepest passion is to help people create a life they love. Join me in welcoming back our own Katherine Breau with her message. Would it be okay with you if your life got easier? Welcome, Katherine.
Thank you, Dawn. I think you can take that with you.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
thank you. Good morning. Oh my goodness. It's been just over a year since I had the privilege of speaking at Unity of London, and I have to say it's wonderful to be back. As most of you know, Larry and I relocated to Manitoulin Island this year. And in the past year, I've had many breakthroughs on my spiritual journey. And I'm really excited to be here today to share some of those with you. I'd like to add that our Wednesday morning Way of Mastery group, we have been meeting faithfully every Wednesday, and it's provided an incredible catalyst for spiritual awakening as we continue as a group to cultivate transforming our beliefs, our thoughts, and our actions. So through all of this, something has become crystal clear to me, and it ties in beautifully with our theme for November, which is release. And I'm not just talking about letting go, because when letting go, you can always go and take it back again. But to me, release is absolute surrender. So releasing what I personally needed to release has manifested a very deep desire of mine to be more connected to spirit, to the universe, to divine mind, whatever you choose to call it, but to feel that deeper connection, that innate energy that is within each and every being on this planet. So I have released my old story that no longer serves me. And I'm making wonderful progress in releasing what were called problems in my life. I've released all beliefs that held me prisoner in pain and worry and doubt. And you might be wondering, how could she release all of that in 1 year? Well, I'm going to share that with you today because I have the answer. Are you ready for the answer? Yeah. Well, if I give you the answer, will you seriously consider attempting this in your life? Oh, great. Would it be okay with you if your life got easier? Yeah. Sounds like a crazy question, kind of, doesn't it? Well, when I think of all the years that I allowed myself to be overwhelmed with pain, with remorse, and extremely low self-worth, it makes me kind of sad to realize how easy it could have been to release all of that and to be happy with myself and with my life all the time. So here's the answer. You ready? Here it is. Only focus on creating the life you love. That's it. That's the answer. Only focus on creating the life you love. Does that sound too simple? Well, let's unpack this a little bit and let's see if we can create a shift for you today with my personal guarantee that it works. How often have you said to yourself, oh, I remember back when I'd say, as soon as I get that new job, life will be better. As soon as I lose 30 pounds, life will be better. That's been a long goal. As soon as the kids are out of the house and successful, life will be better. Oh, all I need is to meet my soulmate, and then life will be better. Or how about this one? As soon as I retire, boy, life will be so much better. Well, I bet it's blatantly obvious to you right now that in saying these things, where we put the focus is on the problem. So what does that translate into? That translates into giving all your power to the problem. Think about it. Can you see that that's what we do when we're always looking for the future to be better? It's saying, my life the way it is not good enough. But I have some incredibly good news for you, and that is that you are not broken. Nothing about you needs to be fixed. You are perfect just the way you are. How's that for good news? Doesn't that feel good? As long as you continue to focus on fixing something about yourself or about your life, you are focusing on the problem. And we know, don't we, that whatever we focus on expands. So let's ask ourselves, what if Myrtle Fillmore had only focused totally on her terminal disease? What if she talked to her disease rather than affirming perfect health and vitality, which is what she really wanted? Myrtle awakened to a much higher truth, didn't she? She allowed her higher consciousness to create health and wholeness after receiving a terminal diagnosis. She totally focused on health and wholeness, nothing else. She did not give an ounce of energy to the problem. This is one of my favorite quotes of Myrtle's, and you know she's my girl. This is a quote of hers about problems. You do not have a problem except the one that is in your own mind, and you put it there. Oh, she speaks my language. You do not have a problem except the one in your own mind, and you put it there. Myrtle knew without a doubt that she was the creator of her life, and she chose a life she loved. Every Sunday, just a few moments ago, we heard our vision statement, which is in alignment with the vision statement for Unity Worldwide. To transform the world through shared spiritual awakening. Let's say that together. Our vision at Unity is to transform the world through shared spiritual awakening. So what does that look like? I believe, and I am here to say, that I believe this is a calling for us to transform from being students of unity, students of new thought, into becoming prophets of new thought. It's a step up, isn't it? It's a big decision. How could I stand being that happy? Here's another one of my favorite sayings. We are all powerful, creative, spiritual beings. Please say that with me. It's I am. I am a powerful, creative, spiritual being. Say it again. I am a powerful, creative, spiritual being. Yeah, in my own way, in your own way. We're all unique. Eric Butterworth says it best. You were born to achieve, to release your inner power, to fulfill your uniqueness. Each and every one of us is unique. And if we were to just focus on releasing that innate inner power, and then I stepped back a little bit and I said, well, how many of us have tried to understand what Charles and Myrtle did intellectually? Trying to understand, what they dedicated their lives to teach this world. How to live a joyful and fulfilled life in higher consciousness. They were amazing prophets, were they not? They shared their spiritual awakening with anyone who would listen. And in the beginning of their journey, this was, their journey of creating unity and the unity movement. It was pretty difficult for Charles because he relied very heavily on his intellect. But through witnessing Myrtle's her spiritual awakening at their first New Thought talk that they went to, and then as she transformed her health, and he watched her, leave that movement with, she had a spiritual awakening while she was there at that lecture. And then to take that and be transformed into the belief that she could not only heal her terminal disease, but live healthy, strong, and vital. And he watched that transformation. She was committed to sharing these experiences with anyone who would listen. She totally believed. She totally did all of the exercises that she had heard, or we could say practices that she had heard to remain in higher consciousness. She was committed. That really, really spoke to Charles. And eventually, he was able to transcend his intellect to a spiritual awakening. Recently, I read a wonderful quote, and it really made me think of Charles. The intellect is a wonderful servant, but makes a terrible master. Isn't that great? The intellect is a wonderful servant. Who'd want to be without it, right? But makes a terrible master. Is your intellect your higher power? Think about that. Would you be comfortable even thinking about letting go of what you know or what you think you know? How about letting go of your beliefs or what you think you believe? Eric Butterworth probably says it better than me. He says, seeing is not believing. Believing is seeing. You see things not as they are, but as you are. Let's use a little example for this to kind of demonstrate this. Let's interview 3 people after they've gone to a function, the same function. Okay, and the first people, she says, oh my goodness, the food was out of this world. And we danced all night. Oh, the band was excellent. I mingled and we just went around and we met so many people. I can't wait for next year. Okay. And then we moved to the next person. And she said, oh, the food was inedible. I couldn't believe what they put out. And the band, oh my God, I had a headache within 30 minutes and I could not wait to get out of there. I sat over in that corner all night and not one person came to say hello to me. I will never go back. Okay, now we have the next person. And she says, well, I really didn't feel like I was dressed well enough. And I didn't really feel like I fit in. So I did get a little bit of food from one end of the table, but I didn't want to butt in or anything, So I just kind of went and sat out by the lobby until it was an acceptable time for me to leave. And then I just went home. I don't think I'd come back because I don't really belong there. So who do you want to be? What do you bring to the event? Maybe none of those. Maybe all of those at times. The point is, you have to be it to see it. You cannot go somewhere with a negative attitude or perception and expect it to be wonderful. And when we leave there, we need to know that our experience was created by ourselves. There's another slide that I put in here only because it gave me goosebumps when I saw it. And it's from Helen Keller, who I have adored. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight, but no vision. Doesn't that just say it so beautifully? How many of us are walking around in October and not seeing the color? How many of us are not experiencing the fullness of our lives because we're busy, or we've got things to do, or we're worried, or we're, There's another giant in our New Thought movement by the name of Ernest Holmes, a master committed to sharing his experiences, his spiritual experiences, and I would deem him to be a real prophet. And this powerful quote of his, it just really points out what we're talking about today in a very simple and succinct way. The mind is a magnet, and we attract that which we identify the self. So it's just saying it in another way, what we just talked about it, isn't it? That not only do we need to be it, but that is what we attract, whatever we are being. In order to get the most out of life, we must learn consciously to change many of our habitual thoughts and patterns. That's what we're doing in our Wednesday morning class, The Way of Mastery. This is not easy, for our old thought patterns cling to us with great tenacity, don't they, Pauline? But being thought patterns, they can be reversed. If you are filled with fear, Ernest says, refill yourself with faith, for faith always overcomes fear. So how about faith that the universe is always conspiring to create our success? The universe wants nothing but the best for us. So why do we limit ourselves by thinking we need to fix ourselves in order to warrant receiving the best? Why? And the last question for today, is it possible to have a problem-free life? Well, Myrtle thinks it is. I think it is. The New Thought movement thinks it is. So what does the life you love look like? Let's just do a little quick exercise here. This is not a meditation, just a little exercise. If you could just get comfy and kind of shake things off and get into a nice little centered place and close your eyes. And so many of us have never asked ourselves this question: what do I most love to do? What are my most favorite things to do? Might be dancing or singing, functions with the family or friends, or golfing or boating. What just puts that joy in my life? What lifts me up? Just really think about all the things that do that for you, free of any obligation or expectation. Just what do I love? Now hold on to that and just take your right hand and grasp your left wrist, just and press ever so gently. And just stay in that and now feel what it feels like to be doing that. We're just anchoring that feeling. Oh. Yeah. Just feel it. Is your heart beating a little faster? You feel a little lighter? Are you smiling? Ah. Okay, now you can let go of your wrist and open your eyes, even though I know you probably don't want to come back, but we need to. That's an anchor. Whenever you choose to go back to that feeling, you can just ask yourself that question and go back to that feeling. I'd love to hear from you what the life you love looks like. And I want to share with you that how to do it yourself, how to workshops and classes will be offered in the spring. So if you're ready to be consciously living a life you love, I would be honored to be your prophet. So then you can go out and spread the word. You can share your spiritual awakening with anyone who will listen. I love my life and I love you. Let's take this into meditation. And we just know to become quiet in our chairs and to let our muscles relax, our facial muscles. Allow your chin to drop a little, to just relax. As followers of the Unity movement, we have a lot of experience in meditation, don't we? And part of spiritual awakening is in the synchronicity that takes place as the universe affirms our path and lights the way. This reading I'm going to read you is of a daily word that popped up on my screen last week and is a wonderful example of this synchronicity. It's the longest daily word I've ever seen. It's from April 20, 1927, which means we've been hearing this message for nearly 100 years. And at that time, it was called Today's Word. Today's dynamic declaration. Spiritual faith springs into my consciousness, and I am made whole and perfect. This statement was the silent unity healing word used from April 20th to May 20th in 1927. I have faith in spiritual things, life, love, and truth. My consciousness is vibrant with the deep things of faith. I have faith that right now my mind and my body are becoming spiritualized. My faith is spiritual because it is established in spirit. My consciousness is built upon the very substance of faith. The faith which springs into my consciousness causes me to believe that only the good can be true in my life. I am free from every disbelief in good. My faith makes me whole and well. My faith, centered upon God, my life, causes me to lay hold of life and health. I am whole and well in every part. Not a trace of weakness or disease can remain in my body. Through faith, I lay hold of innate perfection. The presence of Christ restores me to harmony and health. Christ, the truth, has freed me from every form of disease. Christ, the truth, unburdens my mind and my body, and I am entirely free. I abide in the faith which removes mountains. I live in the faith which is the substance of all that I desire. And from Matthew 9:22, thy faith has made you whole. And let us hold that for a few moments together in this beautiful consciousness that we have created this morning. And so we let it be, and so it is. Amen. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Catherine. What a wonderful, wonderful talk. And it's so nice to be here in person, isn't it? So what will you do with the information that Catherine shared today? Are you up for the challenge? I bet you are. You're a unitic. Thank you so much, Catherine, for sharing of your time and your talent and coming here. And now we'll have another song.
Here we stand this morning, everyone, this family, brothers, sisters, we have come. Hearts and minds are open, voices sing God's glory, working wonders in our lives. We have come to be together. We have come to be renewed. We have come to be a light in the world. We have come to stand united. We have come to stand in truth. We have come to stand in the presence of God. Look around, these faces filled with love. God's light is shining, Spirit in our eyes, in our eyes. Through these doors, hearts rising in this room, arms opening, all who seek are welcome here. We have come to be together. We have come to be renewed. We have come to be a light in the world. We have come to stand united. We have come to stand in truth. We have come to stand in the presence of God. Will you sing out this morning? We have come to be together. We have come to be renewed. We have come to be alive in the world. We have come to stand united. We have come to stand in truth. We have come to stand in the presence. You sound powerful. Let's sing it one more time. We have come to be together. We have come to be renewed. We have come to be a light in the world. We have come to stand united. We have come to stand in truth. We have come to stand in the presence of God. We have come to stand in the presence of God. We have
Wow, if you were here, you would have heard the two Larrys just singing away. I wanted to turn around and say, "Sing it, Larry." Oh, and now we come for the time here at the church or at our building, our spiritual center, that we will take a moment to share of our gifts and our offerings. And I invite you at home, if you haven't done your gift or your offering this week, you can email it right now to unityoflondon@hotmail.com. But we also take a moment to just thank everyone to continually supporting us financially. For as we give, so we receive, and we know that we are in a sea of abundance. And now we'll do our prayer for protection. So I invite you to read this with me. I need to print this one out, Pauline. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yay, God. And our peace song. Celebration Sunday. Anybody in the building celebrating anything? Come on up, grab a microphone. Yay! Yeah, Teresa. Well, if you face that way, they can the audience can see you.
Well, I am celebrating a pretty big event, I think. November the 30th, Jack and I will be married 53 years. And what a wonderful life it's been with him. So if you're listening, Jack, I know you're at home, but I do love you a lot.
Yeah. Hey, Jack.
I love you, Jack. It's good to be back in the building celebrating that. It's good to see all the work that's been done here and the technology side. And thanks Lorraine for doing all she's doing, and everybody else is pitching in. But yeah, I celebrated a birthday last week, and it was really nice to have my daughter and my mom, kind of a surprise visit, come up and spend 5 days with us right at my birthday. So that was really special. And yeah, and I got a chocolate cake with candles in it. Woohoo.
I'm celebrating Larry and Katherine Breau back in our building today. Yay! And Catherine's wonderful presentation. My birthday was on November 4th. It was one of those mega huge birthdays. And my husband celebrated with me. And then in the evening, I saw a beloved cousin who I don't see very much. It was a surprise visit. So that was wondrous.
I told you all last month about me becoming a great grandmother, and my little great granddaughter was born on Thanksgiving. My daughter calls her Turkey, but I'm not going to call her that. But I am celebrating that she's getting stronger and healthier and just even cuter all the time.
Okay, what about the folks online? I'm sure there's somebody that's online has something to celebrate. Just unmute yourself, put your hand up. Nancy. Go ahead, Nancy. I don't know, can you hear me?
Yep, I can. Yeah, I'm just celebrating that the last month, it's been a great time of reconnecting with family. You know, I had a nephew come up from Boston, and I have my sister-in-law here now down from Sault Ste. Marie. And I've been going up to my mom's a couple of times, and it's so full, you know, to have that time. And then we had a birthday here, the first time we've had a dinner in the home since COVID began. You know, with friends, like with my sister-in-law and our close friends. We're in that smaller circle, but it was so nice. I love that, you know, to have that opportunity to just get back to interpersonal interactions and that, and just see people. So it was really nice. So I'm celebrating. I'm very thankful for that.
Thanks, Nancy. I think we're all celebrating that with you. Wilda, just unmute yourself, Wilda.
All right, so this week I posted on Facebook, so some of you may have already seen this, but I had the best opportunity. So, you know, being up on Manitoulin, I've always loved the water, but I've never had much chance to spend time in the North Channel, which people who are sailors and boaters have told me is just some of the most beautiful area in the world to boat or sail in it. So my cousin bought a flatbed boat, and he was bringing it back from Meldrum Bay back to Lake Wolseley, which is about 40 miles. So at any rate, he invited me to come on that trip. So that was last Tuesday, and it was such a beautiful, beautiful, calm day, even in November. So we did that trip, and it was just amazing for me to be able to be out on the water and to be able to see the shore from the water, and to just be there with my cousin and another two people who were on the trip as well. So it was just incredible. It's like one of those things, as Katherine was saying today, about like how good can your life be? Because for me, that's something I've always wanted. And just that invitation just came up. And he said to me, "Hey, Wilda, do you want to come?" And I said, "Yes, I do." So it was so spectacular. It was just so spectacular. So I'm just like so grateful for that.
Wonderful. Excellent. That's certainly worth celebrating as well. Anyone else have celebrating the end of harvest, but not quite there?
It'll be a few more weeks.
Oh, well, we celebrate you and all the farmers that work hard to thank you for being a farmer.
Welcome.
And go ahead. Oh, I thought somebody else said, Paula, put your hand up. Paula?
So, do you want me to go ahead?
Sure, go ahead, Paula.
Anything. It just says, let's celebrate. I just wanted to say that I'm celebrating being a member of Unity. It's been just over a year, and I can't remember the exact date, but every service lifts me up, and it's beautiful to see people expressing so much of their spirit. And I walk away on Sunday after the service, and I love to go outside and be close to nature. And nature has been my part of my spirit, and it's lovely to feel that Unity is, and to be able to go out and talk to somebody from Unity and meet with them, and to be more open now. And I celebrate being able to get on Zoom. It was such a struggle when I first started, and I enjoy it now, and I can even see myself. Anyway, thank you so much, Katherine. I look forward all week to hearing you speak. You bring such zest and such joy, and that's what I find in Unity, joy, and it's lovely. Yes, we have problems, but we balance the other side of the coin, and faith and fear are opposite sides, and Unity increases my faith even when I'm facing problems. Thank you so much.